Complain about dinner? You cook the next one. So growing up, we were really poor. Like food stamps, hand-me-down clothes from neighbors, and those fun nights when the electricity got shut off because mom couldn't pay the bill, kind of poor. We had this strict rule at dinner time. You eat what's on your plate, you finish what's on your plate, and you definitely don't complain about what's on your plate. It didn't matter if mom made liver and onions that tasted like rubber, or if she put green peppers in everything, even though half of us hated them. Dinner was dinner, and you ate it without whining. But you know how kids are. We'd still make faces, push food around our plates, and sometimes actually complain out loud about whatever weird casserole mom threw together with whatever we had in the pantry. Mom got sick of hearing us whine pretty fast, so she came up with this genius rule. If you complain about dinner, you have to cook dinner the next night. At first, we thought she was bluffing. Like, what's a 10-year-old gonna cook? Cereal for everyone? But nope, mom was dead serious. My brother Jake was the first one to test it. He made some comment about how the meatloaf was gross and tasted like cardboard. Mom just smiled and said, "Great, you're cooking tomorrow." Poor Jake ended up making scrambled eggs and toast for the whole family. It was actually pretty good, but he learned his lesson real quick. We all ended up cooking at some point. I made spaghetti when I was 12 after complaining about mom's tuna casserole. My sister had to figure out how to make grilled cheese for 6 people when she said mom's soup was disgusting. The rule worked. We still didn't like everything mom cooked, but we kept our mouths shut about it. Fast forward to when I'm 19 and engaged. I moved in with my fiance's family because we couldn't afford our own place yet. Very conservative household. So I got his bedroom and he slept on the living room couch. No funny business allowed. The whole family dynamic was super traditional. Dad worked at the factory, mom stayed home and did all the cooking and cleaning. Dad handled yard work and car stuff. Mom handled everything inside the house. It was pretty different from how I grew up, where everyone just did whatever needed doing. One night, about a month after I moved in, mom made this chicken and rice dish for dinner. It actually looked pretty good to me, but dad took one bite and completely lost it. He started yelling about how the chicken was too dry and the rice was mushy, really getting in her face about it, saying she should know how to cook a simple meal after 20 years of marriage. Mom just sat there taking it, looking like she was about to cry. My fiance was staring at his plate like it was the most interesting thing in the world. Nobody was saying anything. I've never been good at keeping my mouth shut when someone's being a jerk, so I jumped in. I told them about the rule we had growing up, how if you complained about dinner, you had to cook the next one. They both started laughing like it was the cutest thing they'd ever heard. Dad was like, "Oh, that's adorable. What a fun little game for children." But I wasn't done. I looked right at him and said, "No, I'm being serious. You just hurt her feelings complaining about the meal she spent time making for you. So, what are you cooking tomorrow night?" The laughing stopped real quick. Mom looked shocked. My fiance was giving me this look like I'd just challenged the president to a fistfight. Dad started stammering about how that's not how things work in his house, how he works all day and shouldn't have to cook when he gets home. I just shrugged and said, "Well then maybe don't complain about the free meal someone else cooked for you." He got all red in the face, but he was backed into a corner. His own wife and son were watching to see what he'd do. Finally, he just threw up his hands and said fine, he'd figure something out. The next night, Dad made chili from scratch, and it was absolutely amazing. Best chili I'd ever tasted in my life. Mom was grinning the whole time watching him cook. He never complained about her cooking again.